In the lush, vibrant archipelago of the Philippines, agriculture is more than just an industry. It is the lifeblood that sustains the people, culture, and economy of the nation. Spanning over 7,000 islands, the Philippines is a country defined by its deep connection to the land, from its towering rice terraces to its bustling farms, from its small fishing villages to its expansive coconut plantations. Here, in the mountains of Ifugao, agriculture is not just a way of life, it is a legacy. The terraces, built by generations before us, have been passed down, surviving through centuries, withstanding typhoons, droughts, and the passage of time. They are the soul of the Filipino farmer, whose relationship with the earth is sacred, and whose resilience continues to shape the future. From the lush plains of central Luzon to the rich volcanic soils of Bicol, millions of Filipinos depend on the land for their livelihood. Agriculture employs over a third of the population and is the cornerstone of rural life. But despite its importance, the Filipino farmer faces constant challenges: rising costs, unpredictable weather, and insufficient support. The Philippines is among the most disaster-prone countries in the world. Typhoons, floods, and droughts are becoming more severe, devastating farms and eroding food security. The heartache of seeing an entire season's crops wiped out in one storm is something that millions of farmers face every year. And yet, they rise again. Their hands, though weathered by the harsh sun, are ever steady in their work. Agriculture also feeds the Philippine economy. From the rich coconut farms of Mindanao to the fertile lands of the Visayas, the crops grown here are not only sustaining local communities, but also driving the national economy. Yet the sector faces challenges, from the pressures of globalization to the impact of foreign competition. However, hope is not lost. A new generation of young farmers like Maria is stepping forward, embracing the future with new ideas, technology, and a passion to reinvigorate agriculture. Their goal is to preserve the heritage of Filipino farming while adapting it to the demands of a changing world. As they plant seeds for tomorrow, they are creating new possibilities for the future of agriculture. The importance of agriculture in the Philippines extends far beyond its borders. As one of the top agricultural producers in Southeast Asia, the Philippines contributes to the global food supply, providing key products to the world. Its agricultural practices shape the economies and the food systems of many nations. Though agriculture in the Philippines is the backbone of the nation, it has often been overlooked and underfunded. It's time for the world to recognize the vital role of Filipino farmers. The future of agriculture and the future of the Philippines depends on sustainable practices, investment in infrastructure, and support for the farmers who continue to work the land with pride. Agriculture is more than just a livelihood. It is the pulse of a nation, a story of resilience, survival, and hope. It is rooted in the land, and the heart of the Philippines beats in its soil. As long as the Filipino people continue to till the earth, their agricultural legacy will endure, nurturing not just a nation, but the world. End credits. In a land rich with agricultural tradition, where rice fields stretch across valleys, coconut trees sway in the breeze, and fishermen cast their nets, a storm is brewing. This storm is not of nature's making, but a consequence of the global economy and importation policies. From the rolling hills of Luzon to the plains of Mindanao, the Filipino farmer has always been at the core of the country's food production. But today, these same farmers face fierce competition from imported goods. The Philippines imports billions of dollars worth of agricultural products every year, products that are often cheaper and more accessible than local produce. Eduardo, a local rice farmer, shares his struggles. Before, people would prefer local rice. But now, because imported rice is cheaper, it's hard for us to sell. We spend so much on fertilizer and labor, yet the price we get doesn't even cover our expenses. The arrival of imported goods has had a profound effect on local industries. Rice, one of the Philippines' most important crops, has become a battleground. While imports have provided cheaper alternatives for consumers, the local rice farmers like Eduardo find it increasingly difficult to compete. These imports are often sold at subsidized rates from countries with far lower production costs, and the disparity in prices makes it difficult for local farmers to survive. On the surface, the benefits of importation seem obvious. Lower prices for consumers, especially in urban areas where access to affordable food is a major concern. Imports provide Filipino families with a variety of choices and help keep food prices in check. In fact, many households rely on cheaper imports to stretch their budget. An economist explains importation helps control inflation and ensures that people, particularly in urban areas, have access to affordable food. Without these imports, we would face higher prices and supply shortages. While urban consumers may benefit from the cheaper prices, the price for Filipino farmers is steep. As demand for local products wanes, farmers face declining incomes. Unable to compete with the flood of imports, many are forced to abandon their land or seek jobs in the city. This exodus leads to a breakdown in the agricultural supply chain and an erosion of local farming culture. Eduardo continues, "We've been here for generations, but it's becoming harder to make a living from farming. People are losing their faith in local crops, and some are even selling their land to survive." As rural areas lose their farmers, communities are left with fewer opportunities for employment. The agricultural industry, once a pillar of the local economy, is weakening. When local farmers can't compete, they stop spending on other goods and services, leading to a domino effect that affects everything from local businesses to education. A community leader adds, "The ripple effects are huge. When our farmers can't earn enough, it affects everything. Children drop out of school because their parents can't afford the fees. Local stores close because there's no one to buy from them. The whole community feels it." The Philippine government has implemented policies to address the issue, such as the rice tariffication law, which aims to liberalize rice imports and make the commodity more affordable. But the unintended consequence has been the destabilization of the local agricultural market. Trade agreements and foreign policies continue to prioritize global competitiveness over the well-being of local farmers. A government official notes, "The law was designed to improve food security and stabilize prices. However, its implementation has led to unforeseen consequences, such as the rise in imports and the struggles of our local farmers. We must strike a balance between supporting our local agriculture and meeting global trade obligations. While challenges persist, there is hope." Across the Philippines, young farmers are leading a movement to modernize and revitalize agriculture. Through organic farming, crop diversification, and innovative technology, they are proving that the future of Philippine agriculture can still thrive. But for that to happen, support from both the government and consumers is essential. The young farmer says, "We need to change the way we farm, not just for profit, but for sustainability. If we want local products to survive, we must take care of our land, our farmers, and our communities. The question is not whether importation is good or bad, but how to balance the benefits of imports with the need to protect and support local agriculture. In the end, it is the Filipino farmer, the heart of the nation, that must be nurtured and valued. By investing in local farming, embracing sustainable practices, and supporting fair trade, we can ensure a prosperous future for all. The future of the Philippines depends on the choices we make today. It's time to stand by our farmers and invest in the future of Filipino agriculture.